Ladies and gentlemen, Minister Gabriel, Minister Nunes Correia, Mr. Florence, a warm welcome to the 2007 European Water Conference to all of you here today, both in person and through internet. The importance of water can never be stressed enough. This is why the Commission has deliberately chosen World Water Day, which we are all celebrating today, to talk about the protection of our waters. It is a perfect opportunity to exchange views and ideas not only about what is happening in the European Union, but also in the wider world. There are, in fact, other regions that face similar or even more severe problems. In just a few days, we will all celebrate 50 years since the signature of the Treaties of Rome. During these 50 years, European integration has brought us peace, freedom, security, and prosperity. Thanks to this, we, the citizens of the European Union, enjoy a better and richer quality of life. Environmental protection is a key cornerstone of all this. It certainly is one of the most successful outcomes. Water protection is a prime example of the added value that the European Union can bring to its citizens. 30 years ago, in the 1970s, the Rhine and many other European rivers had become so heavily polluted that salmon and other fish had disappeared, beaches and coastal waters were too dirty to enjoy swimming. Drinking water was of questionable quality, and its level of pollution was so overwhelming that it had become very expensive to clean it. Moreover, severe catastrophes related to water have occurred over the years. We tend to forget unpleasant situations and events. But if you try to think back to the Sandoz accident in 1986, to the mining waste spill of Baia Mare of 2000, and to the tragic floods of 2002, 2005, and 2006 in many parts of Europe, I am sure that you will remember. Think of what you felt at that time. The European Union has taken up its responsibilities and has acted to address these problems. Since its inception in the 70s, European Union water policy has yielded tangible results. Urban wastewater has now been cleaned up in many places. Pollution of rivers and lakes from industry and households has been reduced dramatically. More than 90% of bathing water sites now meet quality standards, and fish have returned to some of those that were the dirtiest rivers. But much more needs to be done. The world is constantly changing and new challenges are surfacing. The European Union must be prepared to address all this. If we do not act timely and the predictions of the climate experts happen in their most dramatic form, it is likely that in the coming months and years we will be faced with an increasing number of floods and droughts. It is in addition expected that climate change will have an effect on the water cycle and biodiversity. To tackle these challenges, the European Union has started already in the 90s the development of a policy based on sustainable water management. This approach is encapsulated in one piece of legislation known as the Water Framework Directive. This directive is based on a number of key principles. First, it is holistic because it looks at the water system as a whole. It includes groundwater, surface water, and marine water in a coordinated way to enhance synergies and avoid duplications. Secondly, it applies the integrated approach because it aims to identify links with other policies like maritime, agriculture, and land use planning, to name but a few. Thirdly, it is transparent because public participation is one of its central features. To be successful, a wider support is in fact needed. Fourthly, it follows economic principles because it seeks to promote the efficient use of water through proper pricing policies. And finally, it is ecological because its core binding target is the good ecological status a true indicator of the health of the ecosystem and its biodiversity. The Water Framework Directive was only the first step in advancing and modernizing the water policy in the European Union. Since its adoption, it has been joined by other legislative acts such as the Directive on the Protection of Groundwater, a resource which is at the core of the drinking water supply in many member states. The proposal recently adopted by the Commission to set environmental quality standards for surface waters is another aspect of this ongoing process. I take this opportunity to call on the Council and the European Parliament to finalize the review of this proposal as soon as possible. It constitutes an essential element for Member States to allow them to devise proper river basin management plans by 2009. Much more is in the pipeline, as the scope of water management will also have to be expanded. Directives in the areas of flood management and the marine environment are presently being discussed by the legislators and are key cornerstones of the European Union holistic and integrated approach to water policy. Our water policy has matured over the last few decades. Soon we will have a framework in place for the foreseeable future. Proper implementation is now the key to success. Only with full and appropriate implementation can we harvest the fruits of what we have planted. Failure to deliver will only increase the disappointment and frustration of European citizens and damage in a possible irreversible way the quality of our water. As water is life, such an occurrence would be devastating. This is why the European Commission is watching closely the implementation of the Water Framework Directive. The latest implementation report is being adopted today. It highlights many positive developments. It shows that nearly all 27 member states of the European Union have transposed the directive and that most have submitted their progress reports on time. Talking about implementation, I would like to highlight the achievements made by one river basin, the Danube, as it is a striking example of how much good cooperation and vision could bring. The fact that 13 countries, not all of them members of the European Union, are successfully implementing the directive is remarkable. I congratulate them for their success, and I am very pleased that Mrs. Varga, the current president of the Danube Commission, is here to tell us about these achievements in more detail.